Hey guys, it's Linda, and I just wanted to walk you through a little more of the research activity, which is due not this Friday, but a week Friday. So you will have a chance to ask some questions in class next week after the blog presentations. The key to the research activity is understanding that there are different kinds of information, and we take them more or less seriously depending on what type of information it is and what source it comes from. So, there are basically three ways to find information about any business topic. The first way is simply to type some search terms into Google or another search engine, and that's one of the ways you'll get to try to approach your topic in this assignment. Now, some people said that in their blog briefs, we'd be able to find their blog just by Googling their search terms. And I Googled their search terms, and there were 34 million hits. And a lot of the topics that you are going to be exploring for this activity are topics where there are literally millions and millions of hits in a search engine. So you can pick the top one or something from the first page, and maybe it's good. Maybe it's been well advertised, maybe it's entirely misleading. So I want you to look at what you get through a search engine critically, asking questions about how do I know this is good information? Who is this person or this group who is putting this information out there? What do they get out of putting information for free on the web? And just see what you got. Search engines seem to be really quick because they get you to something really quick. And the question you're looking at is, do they get you to something reliable, something you want to bet your career on really quick? Second kind of source, it's a kind of source that I think you will probably find you use quite frequently when you are at work, is trusted sources of information. Now they used to be magazines or journals. Now they're usually published online, so you can find them at particular websites. But these websites are different than a Google search because they are edited and published, which means there is a company that makes money by putting good information out there, and they check the quality of the information before they publish it. Now, it's become a little confusing. Some of them have blogs that are less carefully edited. The actual magazine or journal itself is more carefully edited. But these trusted sources get to print fast. You can find them easily. They'll always have some information on general business topic that you're looking for, and it will come into print faster. So if you're looking for information on technical things, on apps, on the way the internet's working, these will have more up-to-date sources than more scholarly academic sources. So some of the ones that I've suggested that you look at in this activity are the Harvard Business Review, which is a business magazine published by a university. It's hbr.org. You can look at fastcompany.com. Fast Company is a business magazine. It's been around for a long, long time, which means it's been successful at drawing readers, so the readers must find things of use in it. Inc.com, Strategy Plus Business. These are all successful business publications, wide subscriptions. We can assume that if you find something in there, you can talk about it at work and not be embarrassed. The way to find things in these publications is to either go to the website and use their search terms. They have a search bar there, or to use a Google Advanced Search. And I will put a tutorial up online to help you use Google Advanced Search to specify the domain, that's like hbr.org, so that Google will search for results for your search terms only in that domain published by that trusted source. And I want you to see how long it takes you to find information that you understand and trust using these trusted sources, these business journals. Now, Academic journals are different. Academic journals take a long time to be published because they are peer-reviewed, which means if you write an article for a peer-reviewed journal, the editors send it out to other experts in the field who decide whether or not your work is of high enough quality to be published. That means peer-reviewed journals have the highest rates of success in terms of being reliable information that's been checked out. Maybe there's been some science behind that information. However, they're also 2 or 3 years behind the time. They tend to be written for other experts, so it can be harder to find information within the articles and harder to dig around in that information and understand, is this good information or not? So on the one hand, academic journals are the most trusted source of information. On the other hand, you might find that you trust them because you simply can't find what you're looking for or don't understand it. Now, the way to find journal articles is through the library database, but you must select a search for journal articles. The database itself is not a source, it's a collection of sources. And many, many things you can find through the library are not trusted sources of information. They're just newspaper articles, common magazine articles, things that have been collected and maybe somebody printed them, but they don't necessarily have substantial evidence or substantial expertise. So you want to look for a scholarly journal, a peer-reviewed journal, and then figure out, how do I use this to make sense of the information? So your job in this assignment is to find one source from each of these different categories of sources. Just a general web search, a web search of business publications, and a search of the library database to find a peer-reviewed article. And find out for yourself what makes one better than the other, what makes one more useful than another, and present that in a PowerPoint form. That means you're going to have more words on the slide than you would if you were going to actually make the presentation. But each answer will be kept quite short to what you can fit on one PowerPoint slide, and just follow the instructions through to present your findings in the form of a PowerPoint, not for the purposes of making a verbal presentation, but just to create a nice little readable, partly visual, partly text presentation of what you found. And that's what I'll be marking. I'll just be marking the PowerPoint file. You will not be making a presentation that goes with this activity. Again, if you have specific questions after reviewing the activity instructions in this video, shoot me an email. I'll see you next week.